evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Hey Sister. Hey Sister, how you doing?
Hey, sister, I am doing well and I am excited about tonight's episode because it's been fun already. So,
Yes, we've been pre-showing, pre-planning all the things that goes on behind the scenes before the episode begins. So we're really looking forward to the conversation tonight because we've already had a lot of smiles and laughs and of the sorts going on. I do want to shout out to our super fan who is watching right now, one Jody Hart
hey,
Nicholson. Today is
Jody.
her birthday. So
Happy birthday, Jody.
happy
Yay.
birthday, Jody. How you doing tonight? We so glad that you are with us. So we want you to certainly be involved in. Yeah, girl, I did a little something with the hair. Got a little something done to it, a little trim. But we want you to get involved in the conversation tonight. So make sure that you share with all the folks that you know that, hey, we're live right now on Hey Sister. We have a great panel of guests for you this evening, and it's going to be so much fun. So, like, share, follow, subscribe, tell folks about Hey Sister, and also join the conversation in the comments. That's where the action is in the comments. So, we are going to get into it tonight. First, we're going to introduce our guests, and tonight is a night of hot topics. As you know, our first Sunday of the month is reserved for Hot Topic, and there is no shortage of shenanigans and foolery going on in the world for us to comment on tonight, and that's exactly what we're going to do. But we're excited to have um we're excited to have with us three friends talk. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about this lady. First things first, they are Xavierites. They're fellow Xavierites. I got to throw that out there. Shout out to our HBCUs. But Three Friends Talk are a group of friends who met on the campus at Xavier University. They're all pharmacists by trade. They started their podcast to have conversations that they have with their girlfriends all the time, similar to what we did when we started Hey Sister. These are conversations that we have all the time. And so they're taking their years of experience, their field-based experience, their life experience, and they're sharing it with the world on their platform on the Three Friends Talk podcast. You can find them on all the places you find podcasts: Apple, Audible, Google, Spotify. So make sure right now you go find Three Friends Talk and click that button so you can subscribe and listen to their show. But we're going to introduce them to you tonight. So tonight we are so lucky to have Dr. Courtney. Hey, Dr.
Hey, Dr.
Courtney.
Courtney.
Dr. Sylvia. Hey, Dr. Sylvia. And Dr. Leah. Hey, Dr. Leah. So
Hey, sister.
hey, y'all. What's up? We're so excited to have all of you with us this evening. And, before we dive into the hot topics, we want people to hear from your own voice who you are, what you do, and why you do what you do. So, three friends, tell us your story.
I think Dr. Sylvia is on mute.
You're on mute, Dr. Sylvia.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that. First of all, I just want to say thank you so much for having us on Hey Sister. We are all about sisterhood, and it's nice to know that we're all sorority girls. And shout out to the HBCU connection. We started our podcast, like you said, in 2019 after we graduated pharmacy school in 05 and 04. We kept in touch via phone, weddings, babies, but we never had taken a girls' trip. So Dr. Leah is a travel agent, and she said, let's do it, y'all, in 2019, which seems forever ago. And I said, the only way I'll come is if we start a podcast. And they blow me off like they usually do and say, oh, sure.
I don't remember this conversation.
Sure. Dr. Courtney remembers. So, oh, sure, whatever. But little did they know I had my Yeti mic in hand, and we sat down and we recorded our first 3 episodes. We're very loud in those first 3 episodes. So if you go listen to us, it gets better, okay? Because we were partaking in the libations. But that's how it started. And then once we put it on the air, we were very nervous about that. People connected with it. And people say they feel like they were on third floor Katie with us. And
I was the third floor Katie.
third floor Katie, yay! That's a freshman dorm at Xavier, y'all. And then the remodel was on floor 5 and 6. So those girls thought they were better than us, but we had the best.
Little did they know.
Was the hot. That's what
Third
hot
floor
girls
was where it was
third
popping.
Exactly. So it's just been great. We've been able to connect people to mental health services, and that's one of our major messages. You don't need permission to take care of your mental health, and it's not okay to be okay. We just want to have healthy, authentic conversations that are health, friends, and fun. That's what we're all about.
Mm-hmm. All right. I love that. I love that. And either of you want to add to that? Because health, friends, and fun is, to me, that will get you through this thing called life.
Absolutely. I think, well, I agree with everything Dr. Sylvia said. And I think that just truly defines who we are. We've been able to sustain this friendship through, our life activities, and fun just comes along with it. When you're with us, it's inevitable. You're going to have fun with Dr. Leah, Dr. Sylvia, Dr. Courtney. So there is no fun without us. So yeah, we're really excited about where things are going.
Awesome. Well, that's fantastic. Well, we're excited for you. We're excited for your growth. And we also got to give a special shout out to Dr. Courtney, who at this year's homecoming was recognized as one of the 40 under 40 at Xavier University. So whoop, whoop, whoop. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, we like to shout it all out, shout it from the rooftops, because all of this Black girl magic, Black woman wisdom, like I said, Black girl.
I like that. Black woman wisdom.
Honey,
right.
Listen, Black woman wisdom will save you. We trying to save this world. They just don't want to listen to us.
Hello.
Okay.
I promise.
That part.
That's what I'm talking about. So that's why we're going to get into these hot topics, because here's the thing. You got 5 of us tonight. If you just listen to us, you might get your life, right?
That part.
How about that? That's all I'm saying. Anyway, so I am going to say RIP to Bob Dole, because he passed away earlier today. So RIP to the senator, long-term senator, World War II veterans. We're definitely that generation we are losing at a rapid clip. I think he was 96.
98.
98, girl. Hey,
That's a lifetime.
rest in power. He lived his life, and he lived a life of service. And I think that all of us we are committed to our sorority activities, and I know that we all believe in service as well. So, and I said that it prompted me because this is another one bites the dust.
Oh my gosh.
Chris Cuomo.
I think I was in shock when I saw that.
Oh, little tink tink.
Since it's about politics, that's what made me remind me of Bob Dole. But I'm gonna toss it to you first, sister, because I'm gonna say so, because Chris Cuomo is the younger brother to Andrew Cuomo. And so, sister, would you go down for me like this? I just want to know.
No, not in this way. And here's why. One of us has to have a job. Somebody's got to make sure that the bills are still paid. I think that it was, and we'll talk about this later, but you can't put everything in writing. Some stuff needs to be in-person conversations that ain't nobody else gonna trace. But you can't put everything in writing. And look, I'm still trying to figure out how Jeffrey Toobin still has a job. So I guess it's good that Chris Cuomo, they did at least let him go. Because I did wonder at first when he was just suspended. I was like, okay, so how egregious will it have to be for them to let him go? Because it was already interesting to me that he was able in the last however many months since this scandal first broke, he was able to wholesale avoid talking about his brother in a negative light in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
when everybody else was talking about his brother.
Mhm.
He got to avoid the topic completely. So yeah, Chris, nah, this wasn't a good look, but I'm gonna miss you, but you're gonna be all right. I know you will, because white men bounce back in that way.
I was
Yeah,
about to
but
say, I
they
wonder what
they
show
were
he's
pulled
gonna have
through.
next. He's gonna have something else. I mean, it may. I'm just saying.
Well, he
I
already has a radio show.
Yeah, he still has his podcast, radio show, what have you. So
So wait a
They-
minute, he went from indefinite suspension to fire?
Oh yeah,
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
The
Yesterday.
firing
He said
happened
CNN
yesterday.
said bye bye.
yeah.
So
Oh,
he, but here's the thing. So how did we get to the firing? An allegation came out against him in the recent days
Right.
of sexual misconduct.
You almost
God.
predicted that it was gonna happen though. Like we almost can like see it happening. It just-
Look, come on.
No, I didn't see it. I mean,
I
the
did.
governor was a playboy. We kind of knew that. He used to date old girl from HGTV. But Chris, you know, when his wife and his kids got COVID, I was like, that family man. And
you so okay. You so sweet.
Sylvia,
You so sweet.
you're so
I was
nice.
like, dang. And I was like, you know what? I'm not mad at
These
him for
are
not talking
optimists,
about his
I mean.
brother, but you know, you can't be a journalist. Like, so I was like, he believes in family. And yeah.
And he may believe in family, and this is an allegation, and it
True.
has not been proven out
Allegedly.
yet. It's an allegedly. So we're
Situation.
gonna see where it happens, what transpires in that. But
however, in the text messages saying wedding girl looked into or what have you, that's not an allegation. Like that, you did that. You
It's a
sent those.
confirmation.
Yes.
yes.
Wow.
But I will say, like you said, everything don't need. See, that's one of the challenges with this social media age that we're in, and we love this social media platform that we're on right now. Even though I got so what did Chris do, girl? You ain't watched the news, so
Oh, come on.
come on. So
I
Chris,
didn't know. I didn't know.
Chris was named, well, in the documents that were dropped by the Attorney General in the state of New York about the investigation about Andrew Cuomo. What Chris did was use his contacts.
Oh, this
Uh-oh,
is getting
sister.
good. She broke up.
Yeah.
Come on, sister.
That
Girl,
was the
that
initial
sister.
part.
Spectrum don't
what?
want you to be great at all. You
Try
about to
it
turn. You
again.
got to turn
Yeah,
off all
See,
your
y'all better
devices.
stop talking about Chris. Y'all better stop talking about Chris.
See,
Start over. Start over.
okay, what I said was when Letitia James dropped all the documents on the investigation about Andrew Cuomo, there were text messages, there was information about how Chris used his contacts to find out information about the women who had accused his brother. And so they have those text messages. And then that's when the suspension came. And then we have this allegation. So as they were doing the investigation and CNN was investigating, then this allegation came. So that ultimately ended up in the firing of Chris Cuomo.
Said it's too much. It's too much.
But again, back to Sister's point at the top, but Jeffrey Toobin was masturbating on a whole Zoom call.
Y'all, I thought that was a rumor at first. And then they were like, no, that really happened.
And he got his job back. He was gone for a few months, but
a few months.
He back on the air as a legal analyst.
Mm-mm.
I thought about that because
What are
Kathy
our
Griffin
priorities?
was on the View the other day, and she was just talking about all the shame and hate that she got after the whole Donald Trump picture situation, but then the whole the misogyny of it all, where Jeffrey Toobin can do what he does. He keeps his job. No one thinks about how devastated the women who had to see that might have been.
Right.
Nobody thinks about the devastation of the women whose vaginas, obviously, the former president felt like he could grab them by.
Mm-hmm.
No one thinks about that, but you can go as a man. You can go on and continue to have a job and have a career, and
after this level of profanity. Okay.
Right.
There we have it. Okay, well, then let's get into this next hot topic, y'all.
More mess.
Mess, because we don't pick up the phone no more and just have conversations. And when somebody says, "But you said," I didn't say that. I didn't say that at all.
So if you all haven't heard this story about one Antonio Brown who has been on shaky ground and has had a pretty poor track record with the National Football League and some of his shenanigans. One Mr. Antonio Brown, and he's not the only player, but him and a few other players were found to have falsified or presented false evidence of their COVID vaccination and have been suspended for 3 games. Ladies, you all are pharmacists, so y'all had to write them little numbers down.
No. That's a no. That's what we're not going to do.
What? So again, he got caught because he didn't pay his chef, but the chef was obviously the hookup, and so the chef finally dropped dime on him.
My thing is the chef getting in trouble too? Because clearly you over here providing the cards. So what's happening to the chef?
So yeah, where does this lead?
Antonio Brown going down? Is the chef going down too?
Right. And who hooking the chef up? Where is he getting his stuff from?
It goes further than Antonio, but I think because, of course, he's been in the hot seat before, here's where we start, right? Yeah. And I do like the way Shannon Sharp was so animated when he was telling the story, but
per usual.
Oh my gosh. So my thoughts are, I thought he was getting off easy with just 3 games suspended. I think it should be a worse offense because, this is not something to play with. They want to play football, and this could be for any profession that they want to go on. A line is drawn in the sand to where you cannot participate in certain activities, work in certain professions, go to certain, social activities if you don't have this vaccination card. So if you're going around perpetrating or giving false information, you're putting our community at risk, right? And it's just, it's bad all the way around. So I think he's getting off good, and it is a federal offense to where there should be more consequences.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it is what it is.
Ladies,
I'm curious. I guess also, why is doing wrong so much easier than just doing right? Like you still had to go through layers. It's not like you make the vaccine. Just get the shot. I mean, at this point,
so here's the thing: some of them, but when some people started getting scared on the team, right? Didn't they go and get the shot anyway? So you wasted time trying to get the wrong.
And is he at this point? Is he vaccinated at this point?
Yes. So that's why I'm like, you got the shot anyway. Because it's not even.
I thought you was gonna get in trouble. It's like, oh, shoot me up.
Right. So that shows it wasn't this moral, big. This is rush to market conspiracy because he got the shot in the end.
Yeah,
right.
Along with the other 2 people. I just think it's fragile. People are starting to come together under the knowledge that you are vaccinated, or you're going to, even the NFL, if you're not vaccinated, you're subjected to more testing, must wear a mask. So when you
unless you're Aaron Rodgers and you just lie and say, I'm immunized
and I'm get advice from Joe Rogan. I mean, that was just laughable. Anyway, but the system is so fragile right now. You just need to be honest about what you plan or plan not to do, or where you are in your vaccination journey, because you're putting so many people at risk.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's a hot mess. I don't understand, but I think the other key thing, and sister, you said up front. So I have teenage children. These are not teenagers. Why all these text messages about your wrongdoing?
So what happened now? Somebody texted the chef.
They're documenting it.
They're texting
You're
each
setting
other.
yourself up.
That's how Chris Cuomo was texting his brother's staff about, I found this out, or I didn't find this out.
Text messaging.
Antonio Brown, they texting about, can you give me the hookup
on the call?
They think that's private. Text messages are not private.
No.
Stop it.
Nothing on your phone, to be honest.
And speaking of text messages, so this is just titled Parents Gone Wild. So we had another mass shooting in a high school, in these United States of America in the year of our Lord 2021. I think we've had a total of 28 this year if you go do the research. But in Michigan, this one was made the news. And the young man was apprehended, brought it in. And so as the sequence of events have been unfolding, we learned that he was caught on his cell phone looking for ammunition. The parents were notified. His mother responded via text, "I'm not mad at you. Next time, don't get caught. Don't get caught. LOL."
No, LOL. So it's not a laughing situation.
Yes, LOL. They were brought to school the next day. They were told they needed to get him in counseling immediately, and they refused to take him from school that day. So, and then that's when the shooting took place. And his father texted, or his mother texted again, like whatever his name is, don't. But then mom and daddy, they was like, what was that? They were like Jay and Beyonce. They was on the run. They got picked up yesterday.
They got the hell on.
Took out $4,000 from the ATM. I said, what ATM is that?
Right.
Because I can barely get five,
right,
out at a time.
But I'm all for it. I'm all for it. These parents need to be held responsible. I have a teenage son. He actually had an incident at his school. Luckily, it was caught in time just in case something did happen, but a child was searching things on their computer that they should not have been searching, saying things out loud. And luckily, someone was able to report it and it got shut down and cops were brought to the school. The child no longer is a student at the school. This is real life. This is, it's nothing to play with. It's nothing funny. So yes, hold the parents responsible. I'm good with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I agree. And what was very challenging for me is to hear the other young people saying how they had started texting their parents and telling them, I may not make it. I love you. Thank you for all that you've done for me. Like, I don't know what it would feel like. I'm not a parent, but I can't even imagine what it would feel like.
Sorry.
To get a text.
I don't remember that part. The children at the school, if I would have gotten a text message from my son,
right.
I know my next move would have been at that school.
Yeah, as it was happening, because
as it was happening,
we live in that time. We live in the kind of time now where kids know that this happens. I hate to say, not to say regular basis, but a pretty regular basis.
Yeah.
So if I hear any commotion, my head goes there. Oh, well, this is it. Let me tell mom and daddy I love you.
And so there were a few students who did that, and thankfully they made it. But I'm like, what if that is the last thing you had of your child? That is, it bothers me because I hate this vehement, Second Amendment, we love our guns attitude that we have in this country. And it's like, and the topic that we'll get to later, and we talk about loving our kids, and we talk about caring about people, and all lives matter. And it's just like, it's convenient that these lives don't seem to matter when it's a school shooting. Right. And we have seen it from Sandy Hook, when the babies were in kindergarten, all the way to Parkland. And then there was another threat at Parkland this week.
Oh, wow.
So that's the kind of stuff that it enrages me, because the solution is not pull your kids out of public school and send them to private school and to continue this cycle of segregation. We need to start talking about what is really happening in the school system, and with children like that, who, if your child says something like, I don't want to be here and I just want to get rid of it all, whatever it was that was alarming to the teacher. And as a parent, I don't know, clearly they stopped what they were doing to get on the run. So the fact that you didn't stop what you were doing to go and see about your kid.
Right.
That's a bigger problem. Yes. That's a bigger problem.
Yeah. Well,
then this could have been prevented.
Yes.
That's the whole thing.
So many ways. And
there were so many other nets, safety nets that were there that could have been taken. You know, I think we talked about, you know, the school had an opportunity not to send the young man back to class, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, somebody said, and the school. Exactly.
Right.
So there were a lot of missed opportunities. This was preventable.
Right.
What's interesting is see that, you know, the school not the parents refusing to take him out of school, and then the school not then saying, okay, well then our SRO, our resource officer, or well you got to go to you got to leave here. Like, I'm sorry parents, you don't have a choice, but he's not staying here today. He can come, you know, but he's not staying here today. He's not staying here until you get him the counseling that we said you need to get him. He needs to go into counseling immediately, whatever. We need to do a 72-hour hold on this thing or something. Yeah. Something should have took place. But in talking about these parents going on, I know Rosalind put here, maybe if the parents are charged, we can get some gun laws changes. I don't know, because in the Kyle Rittenhouse case, his mama drove him with the gun across the whole state line. Who are these parents?
This is why everybody shouldn't have kids. This is why everybody should not be allowed, because everybody is not equipped. And I'm not even trying to be funny. If you look at the picture of those three, the mama, the daddy, and the son, side by side, you know, sister, you always say crazy is in the eyes. You look at all three of them.
Something is going on there.
It was
something
serious.
Ain't quite right.
My mom was a principal for 31 plus years, and I have several friends that are in education. How are you going to tell me you're not going to pick up your child? Or if your child is on suspension, you drop them off the next day talking about he can't stay at home. What kind of world is that? And I'm so glad she's not in that. And my heart goes out to everybody in education, because your hands are tied in many respects. Now, I do agree. I think for a lot less, the police would have been called on some of sisters and brothers that are Black and brown. Mm-hmm. I do believe that. But the gall.
And honey, you ain't gotta believe it. We got evidence of that. We know that. We've seen it.
Right.
The ball was dropped.
But Demetria, you asked a question in the pre-show that I would like you to ask again, because was they gonna just leave him? And again,
let me drop these comments first.
They were gone.
Jennifer Jackson said, we live in a society where schools worry about don't put us in a place to be sued. We are not allowed to mandate counseling. Wow. Unfortunately, this happens daily now, where parents, they're like, well, I'm not coming to school. That was the parents dropping their kids off knowing they were COVID positive. And we're like, I gotta go to work, so I'm just gonna drop these kids off to the school. That was happening too. But that was my question. You took $4,000 out of the ATM. You was in a car in a warehouse.
Right.
Not the warehouse.
A warehouse, child.
In Detroit, like they said.
It's
okay.
Not funny, but
a few
it's
miles
not
away
funny,
from
but
a Canadian border.
Insane.
It's like you can't make this stuff up.
No.
Really,
I was going to Niagara Falls. It's insane.
But why y'all stopped in Detroit? Y'all don't think y'all was gonna get picked up like
of all
four thumbs.
Maybe in Oxford, no one notices you. But in Detroit, I'm sorry, you might stand out a little bit.
Right.
That's them over there. Go get them.
Everybody pointing.
Right.
So, okay, in all of this, I've forgotten how many children, teachers, staff were killed in this.
4 students.
Ugh. And I heard he was knocking on the door acting like he was the authorities to get people to open the door. So that tells me he meditated.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. And if you saw that video, it, of course, captured on cell phone. And that's the thing about these phones, right? These kids are capturing this stuff. Mm-hmm. And the kids are like, you hear the person knocking on the door and they're like, it's okay, let us in. And they're like, who is it? And then, the kids, they spidey senses was on. And then when he was like, just open the door, bro, them kids broke out through the window. They broke out through the window because they knew he was coming. So, but the fact that they know how to hide and barricade themselves and then escape out the window in high school, y'all, we didn't have
a sad world.
That they
can't imagine. I have an 8-year-old son.
Yeah.
What are we going to be looking
drill.
for?
just like how we had
Fire
tornadoes,
drills.
fire drills. My son, they have active shooter drills right now. Like that's part, like the first week of school, they go through a drill each day, a different type of drill.
I don't know what drill we're going to go through by the time my child gets to high school.
Mm-hmm.
It's so sad.
It's scary. It's
It
very
is.
scary.
It's
I'm
scary.
terrified.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be ready to do this training, whatever else, me and his dad, and we're going to be in there with him, whatever we got to do.
Mm-hmm. We listen, as Sophia said, all my life had
It's a
to
fight.
all my life had to fight. Everybody, we are half hour in. We are thanking you for tuning in to Hey Sister. You are live with Hey Sister and Three Friends Talk. We are having all hot topics tonight. If you got a hot topic you want to talk about, drop it in the comments section. We might bring it up. We have a couple more that we have already planned for tonight, but we know y'all got some things y'all want to talk about too, or at least you want to hear us talk about. So drop it in the comments. Our next hot topic, and we're talking about, where we go from here and what's going to happen. The election have consequences, Supreme Court edition. Now, when we were prepping for the shows, Dr. Sylvia got real animated about this. So I'm going to toss it to you first. So we're talking about the abortion case that's before the Supreme Court right now. I think they've already heard the arguments, and then their rulings come out, I think they drop all their rulings like in June of next year, what have you, their final decisions. So in Mississippi, if you already have a 15 weeks, you can't have an abortion if you're pregnant beyond 15 weeks now. And they are looking to uphold that. So the thing that struck me was some of the questions that.
All right, sister, you went out again. So
lets me know that they really don't know anything about this matter. Okay.
Well, no, go ahead. Well, just throw it to Dr. Sylvia, because you
Dr. Sylvia.
So and honestly, I haven't paid the most attention to it because I just think it's like perilous times. So a 15-week ban, a baby is not viable at 15 weeks, but they're saying at 15-week mark, you cannot have access to an abortion in Mississippi. And that goes against Roe v. Wade precedent. So that's why it went to the Supreme Court and arguments were heard this past week. And like Demetria was saying, some of the questions that were asked, but why can't they have the baby and just drop it off at a safe place? Or what was the other question that you mentioned? Some of the arguments.
Oh, what did they?
Well, one of the things was
why is 15 weeks not enough?
Not enough time to.
Well, 15 weeks. Okay, say you miss your cycle, so that's 4 weeks right there, and then from there you have to. A lot of young women, they don't know their bodies, or they may have irregular cycles, so they might not notice that they missed their period at 4 weeks. It could be 6 weeks. And then from there to get an appointment with your doctor for a checkup may take some time as well. And then like I know in Texas, there's a 6 weeks ban. Whenever you can hear the heartbeat, you're not eligible for abortion services. Mm-hmm. So 6 weeks is really not a lot of time at all. So 15 weeks, they do give them more time in Mississippi, but you may not be able to get into a doctor. You may not have a doctor, if you're a young woman. A lot of people don't have doctorless. A lot of people don't have OB-GYN doctors. So getting in to see a doctor, if you want a female doctor, that might take even longer. So 6 weeks, 15 weeks may not be enough time to get in to see what you want to do in either way. I don't know if the Mississippi ban allows for incest and rape, or there's special cases there. I'm not sure about that, but there's just so many scenarios that women are up against, and these timelines, although they set them, a baby cannot live outside the womb at 6 weeks or 15 weeks. So it's putting a time, even if you believe that conception happens at the moment a baby is a sperm and an egg combined. Why can't that be a personal decision between you, your faith, your faith community, your advisors? And why can't safe and legal abortion be an option still? And if we talk about the value of life, the state of Texas was sued for not taking care of the wards in their care. And then we talk about, all these school shootings. It's just kind of like a lot of emphasis is put on the baby in utero, but once the child gets here, pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Where's the value of life? Yes.
Yeah. So it's very frustrating for me and hard for me. And I just get animated, but I get at a loss of words at a certain point.
It's okay.
Yeah. It's okay. Well, we have a comment here. It says Mississippi wants to restrict an abortion service, but do not want to expand Obamacare.
That part.
Right.
And people in the state qualify for those expanded Medicaid services. So
I think Mississippi is the poorest state as far as healthcare services and access to healthcare all the way around.
And education.
And education.
Definitely is.
And so that's
in socioeconomics.
Yeah.
And I think most of us have ties to Mississippi. Like my mother's family is from there, so it hits home. And so it's just disheartening. It really is.
Yeah, we were saying, our father's family is from Mississippi, and it hits home because we. From Mississippi, his family's from Mississippi. We grew up in Louisiana, and these states are next door to each other. And sometimes it feels like they're running a race to be at the bottom. Between Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama, it's like they're running a race to be at the bottom. And I don't understand that. Louisiana has one of the highest levels of incarceration, but it's very likely they would follow, because even with a Democratic governor right now, he is because of his, he says his Catholic faith, he also does not believe in abortion. So it is problematic. I guess I just always want to know, when do your beliefs supersede my beliefs? So at the end of the day, you can have, like, if you don't believe in abortion, don't get one.
Exactly.
If you don't believe in abortion, don't have it. Don't let your children, because that's another problem. Wealthy people will still find ways to get abortions.
It's called the DNC.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and that was something they talked about too. They'll call it a DNC, and therefore, I guess it makes them feel better. I don't know.
And it looks like that Black people or Black women are the ones that are accessing abortion care, because all the statistics are there, because some of us don't have the privilege to go to our private doctors and get these procedures. Sure. So the statistics look one way, but this is not just us out there receiving this care. And like my body, my choice, when it comes to the vaccine, where's the parallel?
Where's the same level of
I want that energy. Where's that energy?
Well, and you want to be able to choose when you can buy a gun, and you want to be able to choose when you can get a vaccination in the midst of a global pandemic. You have someone sitting on the Supreme Court who was accused of sexual assault.
You have two of those, excuse me.
Yeah.
And the woman on there, so two men who are accused of sexual assault get to make a decision about a woman who is the victim of sexual violence, what she should do with her body. Because yes, I do believe that there is not a carve out for rape and incest as well. But and then the woman from Louisiana, Amy Coney Barrett, it's because she adopted some Black kids, I guess. It's, just drop them off at the fire station. Do you understand? Like, you've had biological kids, lady. So it is not like people act like having a baby is just like 1, 2, 3.
Not to mention, we are dying in childbirth.
Yes. And so that's the part that really gets to me. You don't get to tell, you should not be able to tell anybody else what they can or cannot do with their bodies unless you're opening yourself up for the same criticism or the same rules and regulations. Because to me, you want to make it easy, mandate vasectomy at the age of 13. Then when they're ready to have some kids, then they can go get it reversed. How about that? Since it's just so easy to regulate other people's bodies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, that's so very interesting. You know, we do Sunday school weekly. We kind of had a conversation in Sunday school this morning about even just the language around this, right? Because ultimately, the burden is still on women. You know, there is no, they say when a woman gets pregnant, they don't say when a woman is impregnated. Right? Yeah. Because she didn't just like, you know, unless she was artificially inseminated and went to a doctor and had a procedure. Now that's a whole nother thing, because she's really trying to get you doing all that, right? So come on, Dr. Leah, what you got to say? Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that like the same thing you're saying. That same woman who carries her baby for 9 to 10 months, well, this man can have how many more children? Mm-hmm. Infinite amount of children. We never, like you said, that part is never discussed.
Talked about.
But what I was gonna say earlier about, you know, just the whole case of it just being Mississippi, and the access to care and access to health services, like Dr. Sylvia was saying. There's so many counties in Mississippi. I live in Tennessee. There's so many counties in Mississippi that don't have a regional hospital, that don't have any clinics. I read a story about a month ago of a woman who was pregnant, and I believe she was close into, I know, her 3rd trimester. She either had a stroke or a heart attack. There was no hospital in the vicinity of maybe like 100 miles. Mm-hmm. She lost her life. Baby loses his life. Husband's left with, I think, 2 kids. The husband was the, oh my goodness, he worked for like the funeral home. It was just a horrible story all the way around. Mm-hmm. But there's so many places in Mississippi that don't have access to healthcare. Bringing it back to like what Dr. Sylvia was saying. Well, I mean, if I don't know I'm pregnant, and then, you know, I go on for this longer time or whatever, and then I decide, okay, I can't do this. It's not going to work for me. But okay, we're not in this time period because I can't even go to a doctor.
Right. Yeah. And I saw a case recently, because again, it's not just Mississippi that's here. You know, Texas passed their law. I saw a story, and I can't remember if it was ABC, whatever, one of the major news networks. They did a profile on a young woman who this law was about to happen. She found out that she was pregnant. She made her appointment. She went all the way to Mississippi, flew to Mississippi, because that's the closest place she could get to get an abortion, and flew. So the 6 weeks passed, just her trying to get a 3-state offer.
Right.
Well, yeah, they've said in the cases, I think in Colorado have gone up as well, because a lot of people from Texas have gone like to Colorado.
Oh, wow.
Not to mention the law, I believe this was put on pause, but maybe not. If you help someone to get abortion care, you can be arrested and sued by a fellow citizen. And the federal government doesn't have jurisdiction because it's a federal citizen. It's not like the city is suing you or anyone else. So there's the stakes are just high all over the place. And I'm a person of faith. I just think it should be a personal decision, and abortion care is health care.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. We had another comment here. It says, how close women live to death during pregnancy and childbirth is widely unappreciated.
That part.
Right.
That part, child, because I've been there pregnant twice. So I know that you like every day, like you said, anything. Ooh, child, everything. It's the lives of women is tenuous up in this country. Now, since we're talking about faith, let's talk about what County resides.
Oh, good segue. Yeah.
I forgot. I said, what's she talking about? Oh,
I like how you did that.
Oh, please. So, okay, this is the one that I just saw it like the headline early today. So y'all got to tell me about this one.
Honey.
Why y'all messing with us Texans?
Yeah. Joe already didn't want to open his doors for y'all.
I wonder why.
He hiding the money in the wall.
Somebody
had to dry. Then he let y'all
in the wall and forgot about it. Somebody forgot about this money.
Yes.
So what had happened?
So what had happened was I dropped a link in the chat for y'all to take a look at if you hadn't read the story. So actually at Lakewood Church in Houston, Texas, a plumber was doing some work. He calls into this show and said, hey, he found all this money in the wall. This is the year.
That was weird too. Like
he called into the radio show telling this is the year of 2021. So apparently back in 2014, the church reported that there was a theft or a loss of money from 2 services, around $600,000.
That's a lot.
That's a lot
for 2 church services.
Listen, that's how many years salary for some people?
Over $500,000. I mean,
$200,000 in cash and $400,000 in checks.
But y'all know Lakewood is like the Superdome big.
Yeah.
So I believe it.
Because it's the former, it's what arena was, it's where the Rockets used to play.
Yeah.
So here we go, years later. So they're doing some remodeling work. The plumber is getting in the wall and he finds cash and checks, envelopes. He turns them in and he tells them about
it. He kept $50. I don't know.
They say
he could have kept 200,000 in cash, and he could have just shredded them.
Turned in the checks.
He didn't even. Nobody would have had to know anything.
Right.
He could have just been like, "Yo, I'm gonna need to take my lunch break right now,"
and never coming back.
That's that. It's a wrap for the day. I just want to know. Because see, there's more that's going to be, because this has got to be investigated more now. Because I wonder if the church ever filed an insurance claim and got paid on.
Oh, scandal, fraud. Here we go. Who put in this fraud case?
I think it's like a half scandal because they didn't come get the bag. You know, like
they never came back for it.
Why hide the money in the wall to wait for an insurance claim? You know, so. Some must have.
No, I think
the evidence at the place at the crime scene.
So I think, like you said, they put the money, they counted it after the church service. They put it in the safe. Somebody who had access to the safe went and got it. They knew at that time they must have been working on the wall or something at that time.
There's a hole somewhere.
I'm gonna throw it up in here. They're gonna cover it up. And when I need a few extra dollars,
I'm gonna go get my stash.
I'm coming to get my stash. Then they probably died somewhere along the way.
Natural disasters, pandemic. Joe closes down the church.
Yes,
never go back to get
it. Never go back to get their money. The church, meanwhile,
protocol. Please.
Yeah.
But you're not like, okay, my daddy used to be on the usher board.
Come on,
so after,
come on with the story.
Right.
You know, they collect all the money, they put it in the bag, and they count it. And then they close the bag all together, and you can't open. The bank has the key to open it. So I wonder if the plumber knew exactly where to go to get this money. And
inside
maybe
job.
300,000, and he turned in 200,000. Because how he know how to open the bank bag?
But was it in a bank bag?
It wasn't.
Whatever bag.
No, it wasn't in the bag. He said when they opened it up, all these envelopes just started falling out.
But they sold it from the safe? How it's not in a bag? $600,000 in checks.
Look, that church did it different, Sylvia. It wasn't at your daddy church.
You close the bag together
on
and
the
lock
usher board.
And then he got off the usher board because he forgot. He left it in the trunk for a week. And then anyway.
Your dad, but see, here's the thing. Your daddy, he forgot to bring, because again, he busy with life. He raising children. He a working man. He forgot to drop that bag off at the overnight at the bank and had it in his car. And the church says sir, you got to
go.
Ursha boy. You can't.
And I wait.
1 week is too much.
Comment, because that's what I was just about to say. This is cultural differences. See, black churches, we ain't making 600,000 off of 2 services.
We need a little 5,000 to get to the bank,
right?
Pay these bills
to keep the lights on.
Right.
Clearly, y'all lost. You misplaced this.
They're not gonna miss this 600,000. This 600,000.
That's a light bill for them, huh?
Every week.
That's a light bill.
Okay, probably went back to the congregation and said, "Y'all know we had a theft last week.
We need y'all to give all of it over again."
Hi, Mary.
So what happens?
Cancel that check and write another one. They got their money.
That part.
What happens with the plumber now? Does he get a reward? What's going on with him?
The plumber. They said the man on the radio interviewed him in person because the story sounded too crazy. The plumber is looking for his 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is crazy as well.
He don't get nothing?
Wasn't Joel really upset?
There was in 2014, they did have a reward if it was found for like, I think $25,000. The church had put up a reward if it was found, but it was never found.
I'm sure.
Well, he found it. He gets something.
Maybe he didn't get it. That's why he went to the radio.
Why Joel didn't want all those people to come back into the church? He want the evacuees.
You know what?
Back in his church.
That was years later.
Oh.
That would have been the time to come get the bag.
I'm just saying.
That's why I think something had to happen to the person that took them out. First of all, okay.
Or maybe Joel put the money back there. Maybe
I
Joel
tell you,
was
he
like,
wanted the evacuees back in the church.
Maybe Joel was like, listen, just in case, like, you know, because he been clowning. He didn't align with Donald Trump. It's a few folks who like, I can't mess with Joel no more. I ain't buying books like I used to. He was like, listen, if this all should crumble, I might need to go and get a few dollars to make sure that my bills.
Joel is a billionaire.
Joel said, I write a book
for him.
My advance is $2 million. I don't need y'all 600,000. And I got a cash checks to get it. Joel ain't worried.
Oh, have mercy.
Oh my God.
This is absurd though. And I'm a little embarrassed that it's in Texas, honestly. But that's Houston, not Dallas.
Well, we don't want to get into Dallas, honey, because y'all got all kind of chicanery and foolishness up there too.
Oh, what's the foolishness?
There's always Dallas always got foolishness. And my husband, he might hear me, but the Cowboys is always foolish. That's one foolish.
Wait a minute. Are y'all on your 3rd string or 4th string quarterback? The Saints.
Don't do that, Sylvia. Don't do that, because you know what? This is a whole nother conversation. We are not about to get into it with the Saints and the Cowgirls, okay?
Let me tell you this. So I don't even watch none of it no more, because what I do know for sure is that you're right. They own their 3rd, 4th quarterback, and Colin Kaepernick still ain't have a job. He could at least be one of these damn backups. How about that?
How about that?
I done canceled NFL a long time. I'm done with him. Now you got the liar who, again, Antonio Brown got suspended 3 games. He gonna lose 3 game checks, but this other one had to pay a $14,000 fine for even lying about being vaccinated and was around people and positive. How about that? Let's go there. I can't deal with the hypocrisy and the lies of the National Football League.
To keep them playing football.
Girl, don't get me started now. Okay, but no, Dallas always got some shenanigans. Dallas was the ones who, when the man and his
the man. Okay, I'm following.
I know she about to bring it. I'm waiting.
With the schools, with their racism in the schools.
Oh, that's up north.
North Dallas.
She never want to claim with it.
That's like in
that's in
Hollywood.
That's not Deep Ellum?
No.
I don't know.
Listen, y'all know we live in red states. Y'all already know what it is. So
that's not Oak Cliff.
Oak Cliff.
It would not work like that.
Do you dance?
Tiffany in Dallas, she say I'm speaking truth. Y'all know Dallas is always a high.
Tiffany up north with them. Tiffany. No, I'm just joking.
Dr. Sylvia said, if you're not talking about Dallas proper.
Yes. If you got a size blue 12,
then you're on your own.
Then why would the people,
she get real sensitive?
Okay,
the topics before the show. I think we're off task.
We are off task because you had people in downtown Dallas waiting for JFK Jr. to return.
Oh my!
Now that happened.
She took it back to 1960. What?
No, that happened last month.
But that was last week,
month.
though.
That was
last week. You didn't hear about the
last
QAnon people?
The QAnon
that JFK and JFK Jr.
They
was
were
going
at
to return.
They're coming back.
No, I ain't heard that.
Please tell that story.
Ain't nothing to tell.
Was it over by the building,
Sylvia?
that circle building, Sylvia, the building with the ball that I really like? There was over there.
It's on the other side. But I don't have any.
She don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, she's sensitive. She mad now. Go ahead.
I'm not mad, but it's foolishness. It is all the way foolishness. They said he was gonna come back, and they were down at the Fox.
JFK was coming back on his son.
Both of them.
I guess he thought it was like Elvis. He's still alive, huh?
Similar, very
Who
similar.
will come back and do what?
So Elvis,
Trickery
Tupac,
and
and
chicanery.
JFK all together.
Yeah,
like
I
I
back
think
downtown Dallas.
if JFK were coming back, it would probably not be the place.
Can we talk about Young Dolph? Rest in peace.
He coming back too.
Young Dolph in Memphis.
Y'all don't do
Tupac,
that.
Young Dolph, Michael Jackson,
He's not coming
JFK,
back.
Elvis, everybody.
Unfortunately,
Yes.
Black men deserve to grow old.
Preach.
Amen.
Shout out Mia.
That was heartbreaking.
Preach.
That was that, and I didn't really, know him well, listen to the music, obviously, because I'm in a different generational, but it's just so many to name at this point who are young Black men who are in the industry, adjacent to the industry, and even recently in California with Sylvia Avon, who was murdered in her home.
Yeah.
Oh, that was horrible.
Isn't that the wife of the?
That's the wife of Clarence Avon, who's known as, he was definitely a music industry insider, and they had a great documentary on him on Netflix.
On Netflix, my parents were watching it this weekend.
Yeah, and so she was.
And her name was Jacqueline.
Jacqueline. I'm sorry. I got Dr. Sylvia on my mind because Dr. Sylvia over here trying to clown me.
No, you came for me. Came for me. You got me too, but I got y'all up. We on Memphis now.
No, we're on California now.
Either way, it ain't Dallas. But another sad part was how Dolph supported Black business. Dr. Courtney, Dr. Leah, and I are all in Kappa Psi pharmaceutical fraternity, and we had a reunion in Memphis. And we didn't go to that location of the cookie store, but we went to another Makeda's cookie store.
Makeda's downtown.
Makeda, and it's named after their daughter that died from leukemia, I think.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was leukemia or sickle cell. I think it was sickle cell.
And so they have more than one bakery, and it's a Black couple. And they said that the workers there are traumatized, because they were in there when the shooting happened. And he would go there every time he was home and support them. And outside of the great loss and chasm that is, just the trauma of the community breaks my heart as well.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But then that's also with now the name. Oh God, why his name just left my head? But the marathon continues. Same thing.
Nipsey.
Yeah, same thing. Nipsey, supporting the community the community you come up in, and trying to give back, and then to be your life taken in that same community. It is tragic. It's sad and tragic. But like you said, Dr. Leah, Black men deserve to grow old. And
amen.
And I definitely don't cut for, Mr. Boosie, Mr. Boosie Badass, but especially wearing his alpha jacket this week.
But he collected the letters like the Stones on Thanos.
Oh, I didn't see it. I just saw the response video where somebody was offering.
So he's a Kappa, Q, and now an Alpha.
He did a Q too?
When he was clowning about that, somebody was clowning about that after the Kappa situation.
I know he think he a Kappa and an Alpha. I ain't know about the Qs.
Yeah, but he made that same comment that basically, when you get if you're going to be killed, very often it is killed by somebody in your own community because they maybe their life didn't pan out to be what they had expected it to be. Yeah, but he's
Very
troublesome.
sad.
It is very sad. Well, we wanted to end on this note. This is the last one. I know we kind of round the end, but since we run our thing, we can go on a little longer if we want to. We want to talk about how representation matters, and all of you are in healthcare. And this week there was this image of an illustration of a Black mother with the fetus in utero, and the hue is brown, and we had never seen that image before, and many people were commenting on that fact. And it's so important about why representation matters in all things. And so you all are in healthcare. We're going to do a special show. We're going to probably have you all back. We might even make it a series on how, as Black women, we're still not even seen in healthcare and some of our interactions with our physicians. So I think that's why this image was so powerful for people to see this image, this illustration. So if you saw it, what did you think? And then how do you manage being a Black woman who you're on both sides of this healthcare spectrum as you deliver care, but also you have to interact with it to receive care. So representation matters. I want to hear from you all on this topic.
Well, sure. I mean, I can go first. I think the first time I saw the image, I wasn't taken aback, first off, because as a Black woman, in my community, I see more people like me because I surround myself with people like me. Mm-hmm. So, but I know that's not for everybody, right? Or it has not been everyone's experience. So when I first saw the image, I think as a healthcare professional, I'm like, oh, well, babies they're really pink in there, It's like, they don't really look chocolate like that yet. They get their color a little bit later on, but I get it, it's beautiful. I thought it was beautiful, But and I know the message that it was trying to portray, but I do believe that more of us, we are not getting as much care as our counterparts of other nationalities, right? And that may be a reason because they're not knowledgeable, or our community may not be as knowledgeable of what is accessible to them, the resources and things like that. And they may not trust healthcare professionals that don't look like them. So I know that it's our mission to provide the education and make it tangible for healthcare professionals that look like us to be available to our community, so that our Black and brown sisters and brothers can get the information they need from trusted resources. It just, when they see us, they feel we're relatable. Mm-hmm. And it's just a really different message, positive outcomes. It's just, it works out that way. So I'll pass it on to Dr. Sylvia.
Yeah, this really warmed my heart. We actually posted it on our Instagram at Three Friends Talk, at Three Friends Talk, and I loved it. And I didn't love some of the side conversations that were happening. A lot of people had that same opinion, Dr. Courtney, that the babies were pink, or not brown, but it was nice to see. I actually went on the young man's page that was the illustrator to see what else he had. He's actually trying to go to med school and has a GoFundMe if you want to support him. But I was more interested in some of the skin conditions, because a rash doesn't show up on dark skin like it does in someone of lighter skin. So I think that's a big disparity in healthcare. And I see that a lot more. I love the representation. I was really happy because it felt like, natural. I wasn't surprised by it until I saw everybody else being surprised by it. Mm-hmm. So I thought it was really cool. And then when I think back to our books, there's not much representation in there at all. So I think it's definitely a step in the right direction. I love that it caused a splash. And I think you made a great point, Demetria, about how, if we what some of the things that Lovey Ajay was saying, that if we default to white skin is right, then it makes you think that anything else is not right. So it adds to that social construct of, hierarchy. I'll just say that. So I'm glad that this happened and that it's making a splash and kind of making people stop and think, because representation matters so much. And if we don't see ourselves in those spaces, it's hard for us to advocate for ourselves, and it's hard to, and I don't think the burden is all on us, because as a healthcare system, we should be taking care of all patients. And we know that there are health disparities. We know that there are social determinants of health. And even myself, I've had issues where, and I'm a pharmacist, and so I can only imagine how hard it can be for someone that is not in healthcare. So more of this.
All right. Dr. Leah.
Definitely, like what Dr. Sylvia just said, more of this. Not only just seeing a picture of a child in utero with a darker complexion, but I mean, just the simple things, Band-Aids. We know that like in the last probably 10 years, we're just now seeing Band-Aids in other colors than what's supposed to be flesh. But anything, crayons, when we grew up, crayons, we knew brown, we knew peach, and that was it. And that's all we had for skin color. Now they have an array of like a skin tone Crayola box, it goes, representation goes so far and beyond. But healthcare definitely is a place that, I feel like we're just now starting to see some things kind of being geared towards us. Like Dr. Sylvia just said a minute ago, like in textbooks, we don't see a Black child unless it might be sickle cell disease, or which, we did a show on that just recently. And we learned a lot on that show ourselves, things that probably we never would have been taught in school, but just because we had someone that was representing, really representing their child and representing a whole population that a lot of times gets ignored until we're talking directly about a disease state. But there are people that are walking around with a trait that I didn't know even those people have symptoms as well. So when it gets back to, the representation, it takes shows like Hey Sister and Three Friends Talk to keep bringing to light, every time I research someone or look at someone to bring on our show, and I'll put in keywords and then I'll find someone and like, oh my gosh, a Black girl does that. Oh my goodness, we got, it's just amazing. And it's sad because I really do get excited when I see certain people, because I'm like, wow, oh my goodness.
It should be normal.
Yeah. Oh, look, she does that. Oh, she went to Xavier. Oh my goodness.
Pharmacist. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. So Sylvia has a good friend that we had on the show. She's an oncologist. And she was like, what, in the 0.1% of Black medical doctors, not only that, but oncologists, not only that, but just in her field alone, what she specializes in. So she may be the only one that we see for the next, I don't know how long.
Yeah, I know someone here who's like I think she's one of 2 Black pediatric neurosurgeons, Black woman.
Wow.
Yep. Shout out.
Amazing. It's sad that we have to say that's amazing. It should be amazing. It should be normal.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I just want to say this about representation. We shouted out our HBCU university. My sister is a graduate for Southern University. So one of the beautiful things about our experience is that it is normal for us in some ways, but it's also still surprising for us. So for us, I can have 3 Black female pharmacists on the show. I can call someone who's a nephrologist. I can call someone who is a abdominal surgeon. I can call someone who's an OBGYN. I can call on every specialty because of that experience. That's not everybody's experience. But even us who have those who are only 1 degree from all of these amazing people, when we show up as patients, how we are sometimes treated. And then we have to do this, the like, okay, am I in the matrix here? Or is this a scene from Get Out? Like, what's happening? How you talking to me this way when I do know some things, right? I might not know everything, but I know some things, and I know how to do, kind of that
XYZ.
Yeah, the XYZ, that deductive reason, like, okay. I see where you're going.
I was like, is she on the Matrix? Like, what?
I know what you was doing, Demetri.
But that's how they do us. You know, you're like, okay, but I can track with what you're saying. I might know not know everything or how this process is working. But I know enough about how processes work, how I can get there. And we even experience that. So, you know, we have to do a series on this topic around how we show up in healthcare. So like you said, our maternal outcomes are at an all-time low, right?
Yeah, behind third world countries.
Yes, behind third world countries. We you know, we can talk about heart disease. We can talk about, you know, I saw this meme how black don't crack, but it cracks from the inside. Like all of our mental health issues, right? That we looking good on the outside, but we struggling. There's so much in that we're gonna do
a lot of layers.
We got to do a series on that topic. But representation matters, people. And you see 3 representatives who are all maybe we should do a show, you know, because they got all these shows now, all these Friends shows. Maybe we should do it for it's usually 4, you know, it's 5 of us. That might not work, you know. I might have to be the auntie.
We'll make it work.
But y'all follow them. Here's their website, 3friendstalk.com. Make sure that you subscribe to their podcast on all the social media platforms. Anything that you ladies want to say in closing tonight, and then I'll then toss it to you, sister, and we'll close it out.
Dr. Leah?
Well, we definitely want to say again, thank you for having us on the show. We really had a good time this evening. We do a little segment on our show where we kind of cover the hot topics, but we kind of limit it. So this was fun to actually talk about it and be free. We love to like show our personality and to come up, you know, come aboard and be like, well, I have this opinion, you have this opinion, but we can all still get along. It's no problem. We can have, you know, different opinions when it comes to different things. So it's great to be able to showcase something like that on a show with 5 beautiful Black women. So this is, you know, like this may be something representing something that somebody's never seen before.
Hey, that's right.
Really.
Absolutely. I think we get so used to being the interviewers, you know, asking the questions. And then we got to sit on the other side today. And it really felt great just to be in conversation with you ladies. So thank you for having us.
Well, thank you for being here. All right. And sister, I'm gonna let you throw.
I thought you were gonna let Dr. Sylvia say something. I don't know. Or
I'm just happy y'all went on to Memphis in California. I'm good.
Oh my gosh. Someone gets
still bitter. Yeah.
Well, I would like to say yes. Thank you, ladies, so much. This has been fun, and I knew it would be just from the start of our pre-show. And you know, like Dr. Leah said, for someone, this is groundbreaking for them to see 3 Black women doctors, pharmacists. You know, I am an engineer by education, and so we know that. And my sister obviously was also in biology pre-med when she was at Xavier as well. So we know that as Black women, we can do everything. We do everything. And sometimes even to our own detriment, we fight for everybody else. But it is great to have you ladies here to talk to you and to show someone else that this is reality. Let's normalize these sort of visuals and not be surprised when we see them.
Yes, absolutely. And we fight for everybody else. So that's why you got to walk on the outside. That's a whole private conversation. We're going to have that on another day. Okay? How about that?
I forgot about that. That's another conversation.
We overtime.
We overtime. But thank y'all for tuning in to Hey Sister. You ladies hold the line. Wave bye to everybody as we get ready to go out. Good night, everybody.
Good night.